Hey guys, this has been Boss99, and today we are doing a game review of Watch Dogs for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii U eventually. Oh, and the PC. Yeah. Alright, so Watch Dogs was released on May 27, 2014 by Ubisoft. The story of Watch Dogs follows Aiden Pearce as his quest to avenge his niece who was killed by one of the main antagonists. Alright, so now we're going to talk about characters in Watch Dogs. So the first one we're going to talk about is Aiden Pearce himself. Now, the thing about Aiden Pearce is even though he's the main character, he's not very interesting as a whole. Personality wise, there's really nothing there. I mean, as sad as it is, it's kind of just an empty trench coat, which does suck because you got games from this entire year which have had much better characters than Aiden, and although his voice acting is very well done, which I guess applies for the entire game. Most of the voice acting in this game is very, very well done. Aiden's not the worst character, or the worst main character you'll ever play as, but I mean he could have definitely been better, I think. Although there are a lot of characters in Watch Dogs, none of them are really that interesting, which is kind of a theme for this game, unfortunately. Probably the two most interesting side characters are T-Bone, who you will meet later, and Damien, who is serves as a main antagonist, I guess. Now, Watch Dogs is not a very long game, and you may feel a little bit disappointed with the ending, which I did too. And the story as a whole is just not very interesting, in my opinion. There's no notable plot twist or anything that I can recall of, and there's not really much that happens. I mean, it's kind of disappointing, honestly. Now that we are finished with the story elements of Watch Dogs, we should probably get into the gameplay, which is one of the most important parts of a game, period. Now, we'll start off with the gunplay. Excuse me. The gunplay does feel pretty solid in Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is a third-person shooter, and the gunplay does feel pretty good, although there's not very much variety in guns. To be honest, there's some burst fire, there's some fully automatics, there's some pistols, there's some silenced weapons, like 2 or 3 silenced weapons. There's shotguns, rocket launchers, not rocket launchers, jeez. Grenade launchers is what I meant to say. Sniper rifles, some little submachine guns, but other than that, I mean, there's a lot of weapon types, I guess, but weapon variety, not so much. You'll get upgrades of weapons, not like upgrades, but they feel like upgrades because when you get a new weapon, it doesn't really feel much different from the last, unfortunately. Maybe just slightly stronger, or can fire faster, stuff like that. Now, Watch Dogs does take some inspiration from another popular video game, the Grand Theft Auto series, as with one gameplay element you can steal and drive cars. Now, unlike in GTA, where driving controls are, well, at least in 5 I guess, okay, Watch Dogs kind of drops the ball here. Driving, unfortunately, kind of sucks in this game. It's really, cars can be pretty hard to control sometimes. I mean, it's really not that good. I'm kind of finding it hard to say anything good about the driving controls. As far as vehicles I go, I guess there's some variety, but not much. It's kind of like the guns almost. You've got your regular cars, you've got your sports cars, your supercars, and you got some off-road vehicles, but I mean, you It's not really different from each other, I guess. Unlike GTA 5, or I guess any GTA in this matter, you can't save cars. There's no like personal vehicles. Uh, Although you can call up like one of your friends and he can deliver a car to you instantly at like a nearby street, but you can't save cars, which is a little bit strange to me. I don't know why. There's so many cars, but you can't like keep any of them permanently. So that's kind of one bad thing in my opinion. Now, as for difficulty in Watch Dogs, as a whole, Watch Dogs is not a very difficult game, although it's definitely not the easiest game I've ever played either. It remains pretty easy until about I think about the beginning of like section 3 or chapter 3 or whatever they call it. I did notice a pretty good difficulty spike at about chapter 3. Yeah, about this point you'll begin fighting the harder enemies like the juggernauts and stuff. I think that's what they're called, but yeah, there's like one mission in particular that I can remember where I got stuck for a little while. They just all of a sudden just put juggernauts like everywhere in this one mission. So yeah, get prepared for that, I guess. And near the end of the game, oh god, oh man, they really dropped the ball at near the end. It kind of feels like they just kind of ran out of ideas, honestly. There's several missions at the end of the game that are so repetitive, it's ridiculous. One in particular, I think it may be the last mission, to where your friend Damien, friends, I guess, I don't know, main enemy, it gets a hold of the CTOS, I believe, yeah. He gets a hold of that, and he pretty much makes complete chaos for you, and that is probably the most annoying mission in the entire game. I guess one tip I can give you on that one: use the blackout. They give it to you for a reason. I'll tell you that. There's another mission that's near the end of the game too. It's one of the last ones. It's very similar. Damien has the CTOS, and you're trying to like destroy this one vehicle, but the cops like come after you right after that. These combined with the pretty bad car driving controls makes for a pretty annoying mission, which, yeah, pretty much anything that involves the vehicles and Watch Dogs will end up being a pretty annoying mission if it involves a lot of car chasing, which can really take away from your gameplay experience, honestly, in my opinion. So now we're going to talk about the music of Watch Dogs. Now, the music is actually kind of mixed. The official soundtrack for this game is honestly very good, in my opinion. I really like the official soundtrack. But the radio, which consists of like copyrighted music, licensed music and stuff, really is not that good. It's really not. It's pretty bad, actually. There's maybe maybe one or two, 3 songs I actually like in the radio, which I guess honestly depends. Yeah, the music, like the radio, will really. It will differ from every person, honestly. It just depends on what kind of music you like. There's a lot of rap music, not much rock, like classic rock. There's like none. It's a pretty, and there's a lot of new music in the Watch Dogs radio, which it just depends on what kind of music you like. If you're kind of like the radio soundtrack, so yeah, you can't really say if it's good or bad, I guess, but it just depends on what person you are. Alright, so now I guess we could talk about the graphics of Watch Dogs. They're definitely not as good as E3. E3 2012, not as good, and it was actually pretty controversial for a while, like just how much they scaled them down. Although I will say the graphics at nighttime while it is raining are very impressive in my opinion. I really like that. That's probably my favorite aspect of the graphics. Uh, it's just the art style of Watch Dogs in general. It's good, but it's a little bit uninspired. It's like Chicago as a whole. It's like the entire city. We've kind of seen this before with GTA 4. It looks very similar to Liberty City from GTA 4, which again is kind of taking inspiration from GTA, as I've already said. And another thing, which goes to the PC version, it was definitely scaled down for PC. Like I think it definitely could have been better. I haven't personally played the PC version, but from what I've heard from everybody that has, they were pretty disappointed with the PC port. There were various performance issues on launch. I don't know if they've been fixed. They probably have by now, and this is September, so they've probably been fixed by now. But a lot of people weren't very happy with their PC port when they bought it, and I can definitely understand where they're coming from. I know people have talked about the console parity of how the PC version was made to not look as good as it could just because of the consoles, which I could see that as being a possibility, honestly. Yeah. There's one more thing that I should talk about before this review ends is the multiplayer of Watch Dogs. It's not very good, I guess. There is some cool things which we haven't seen before. Well, we probably have, but I've never played a game with it before. Like in the story mode of Watch Dogs, people can like jump in and invade your game, like to steal like your data or something. Well, not like your save file, but like your Aiden Pierce's data on his smartphone, I guess. I don't know. It's okay until people realize that they can just kind of camp out and really obscure corners and stuff, and it really just gets annoying, and it's not really that fun in my opinion. There are some online races, but like I said, since the driving's not that good, the races really aren't that fun either. And then there's online free roam, which I guess is it's kind of like, it's actually pretty similar to GTA 4's online, like their free roam, and except there's no like weapons laying around. There's still the shops, and you still go buy your weapons and stuff with your in-game money, but yeah, I mean it's not too creative or anything. I guess it's just as fun as you make it. I mean, if you got some friends, it might be fun, but definitely don't expect it to be as fun as like GTA 5 online or anything. It's definitely not as good as that. So my final score for Watch Dogs would be a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I almost would say a 8 out of 10, but looking back on it, I don't think it deserves an 8, really. Honestly, I'm kind of stretching it for deserve a 7.5. Honestly, I don't know. It's either a 7 or a 7.5. Honestly, in my opinion, it's fun. I guess that's really what matters. But it's really not that creative of a game. The hacking, which was kind of a big selling point, it's not as interesting as they might want you to believe. And really, the story doesn't hold up very well. It's very forgettable. Yeah, I'm gonna say a 7.5 out of 10 on this one. I could recommend it if you like GTA, I guess. I could recommend it for other people too. I mean, it's a fun game. It's average, but it's definitely fun in my opinion. Yeah, it's definitely not the game that they would have you believe. It was definitely overhyped, which is kind of a theme of 2014, to be honest with you. Like, there's a bunch of overhyped stuff, but that's another video in itself, honestly. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10. If you like this review, leave a like, a comment, and consider subscribing if you want to see any more. This has been the Boss 99 signing out.